Alright, so it's me from the future just popping really quickly into this intro to let you guys know that the majority of these Q&A clips were taken literally like a month ago now while I was on my first week-long trip. So I'm gonna look different than I look now. I'm gonna sound tired and a little low energy in some of the clips just because I was tired and I was feeling a bit homesick. But I'm good now, I'm home now, I'm putting all of this footage together. I'm currently working on some more stuff for the van to continue the build. Here comes Xander. But I just wanted to check in and pop in really quickly to let you know that it's almost like a journey in itself through this Q&A video that I've put together. And if you want more details and imagery around the different places that I'm in these clips, then you've got to go back and watch all of my other videos. So with that being said, I'm gonna get to work here and I'm gonna roll the clips.
I figured since I was taking a break from climbing up these stairs, I'll answer some questions. How are you feeling? Right now, in this moment, I feel alive. I feel the good type of tired, like my body is being put to use for the first time in a while. I don't exercise often. I wouldn't consider myself fit at all. But when I go on these trails and I move my body and I sweat and I have a hard time breathing, it makes me feel so alive. And I feel alone, but it feels good because I do know that I have people in my life that love me and who I love back dearly. But being here alone feels good. It feels good. Are you a dog or a cat person? I'm a dog person. I don't mind cats, but I'm a dog person. Any exciting finds on this recent trip? The place I'm at right now is really nice. Tallulah Gorge State Park. Yesterday I went to High Falls State Park. That was beautiful. I haven't been on too many trips to really know, but these two places have been nice. Go to camp meal. Well, for this trip I've been having oatmeal for breakfast. So oats with almond milk, lots of cinnamon, dates. This morning I added coconut, peanut butter, and banana. That's been really good, really filling. And then last night for dinner I had rice, onions, peppers, mushrooms, tofu, avocado, and that was really good. I just try and keep it simple. Quick meals, lots of fruits and veggies. Stay full and hydrated. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on going because I've got to get back to Xander. All right, y'all, it is lunchtime and I'm also gonna answer some questions. Have you blessed the van yet? Nature brings out primal instincts. What do you mean by blessed? Blessed? If you mean, have I pooped in the van? Yes. If you mean, have I had sex in the van? Yes. Have I gone to sleep in the van? Yes. Like, what primal instinct are you talking about? Are you going west at all? Not anytime soon. But for summer, I'm thinking about heading west because I have a few good months off that I'll have the time to be able to do so. What's your dream destination to travel to? In the van or just in general? As far as the van goes, I really want to go out west. I want to go to all the national parks out in Utah and Arizona and California, just because I've never been. In general, I don't really know. What's the next thing you are planning on building in the van? I need to build the shower toilet stall. Because right now it's just a tub sitting there and it does the job, but if I really want to be able to bathe and use the bathroom comfortably, especially if I'm boondocking and not in a campsite, I need to have that done. Let's see. How's Xander enjoying the trips? He loves being in the passenger seat. He'll go to sleep and he'll ride pretty comfortably. He loves going on long walks. I think he loves having all the new smells in the environments. But one thing that we really need to work on is his separation anxiety. Like, the minute that the van starts slowing down, it's almost like he can sense that we're going to be stopping soon. And it feels like to him that means that I'll be leaving him soon. So he starts whining and crying and literally screaming. And it's just, I feel bad for him because I don't want him to be uncomfortable. But it's also really annoying when I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I'm trying to stay calm for myself in a new environment. And he's literally screaming in my ear about being anxious. So on one hand, he really enjoys it and it's really good. And on the other hand, there's a lot to work on so that he's more comfortable and we can be like at peace together. But I went on this 2-hour hike and left him in the van by himself, and he did really well, so. I'm getting a lot of where are you right now? Right now I'm at Tallulah Gorge State Park in Tallulah Falls, Georgia. It's lunchtime, buddy, it's lunchtime. Okay. I'm about to do another draw with me video, but I'm going to answer some questions first. Alright, what was the most challenging thing/event you faced when building your van? Everything has been challenging, to be honest, but the one thing that has been giving me the most trouble, it's fixed now, but in the process of getting it fixed, I regret chopping all the wires to the van, because when I bought it and decided I was going to deconstruct it, I had minimal tools, minimal experience, minimal help, and in an effort to get things done quickly, I just started chopping wires left and right, not realizing that I would need them because it was the brake wires, reverse, turn signals, everything. And so I've been driving on and off with them working, not working, but now they're good to go. I would like to know if you had a good support system in your van life journey from family and friends. Any negative experiences? How did you cope at times with doing things alone when it would be ideal to have help? I have the biggest support system between my immediate family, extended family, boyfriend and his family, friends, people that I don't even know. Everybody supports me. At first, they didn't really understand. They were looking at me like I was crazy, but ultimately it's a decision that you have to make, that if it's something you want to do and you're an adult and can make that decision, go for it. Any negative experiences? Nope. How did you cope at times with doing things alone when it would be ideal to have help. Take lots of breaks, take time away from the project, give yourself some peace of mind in the midst of it all, because it can become difficult. And if you're the only one troubleshooting, if you're the only one building, tearing apart, trying to figure it out, you need to take breaks. Also, just give yourself grace and have patience with yourself. There have been times where I've been so impatient and have gotten so frustrated. I've cried, I've cussed, I've yelled because of this big blue van that I bought and decided I wanted to build out. Like, there have been very difficult times where it's only been me that's had to deal with it, you know? And there have been times where I've called on people for help and they just either couldn't offer it at the time that I was asking, or, you know, I have a big support system, but they're all living their own lives too. Even my boyfriend, like, he's here to support me on this journey and this build, but he's got his own career and his own projects, so it's not like I can't rely on him to be next to me all the time, because we are two independent people who are in a partnership, yes, but this is my project that sometimes we do together. So you just have to have patience and grace. That's all I can really say. And I encourage, whether it's a van project or any project at all, look back in time. Look back at pictures, look back at videos, so that you can see, you can witness, and you have evidence of your progress. I love watching you create art. Is it just a passion, or is it also your career? So it is both. It's both. I am an artist. I've been an artist all my life, and I'm also an art therapist. I work with kids who have varying special needs, and I do art with them all day, every day. So it is both a passion and my career. Oh, before I get moving, I'm gonna answer some questions. Lord, why am I doing this? Okay, questions. Do you plan a lot for a trip ahead of time, or do you travel more serendipitously? No plan, just road. I plan a lot. Like, for example, this trip that I'm on right now with all of these locations, I was planning a month, 2 months ago, and booking these camp spots. I will say though that for this trip, I've booked a few camp spots here and there, and then there are a couple locations where I'm just gonna show up and figure out where the best, safest place would be for me to spend the night. Another question is, curious at how easy it is to find safe, free van spots. Any apps you recommend for future van lifers? Honestly, I have used iOverlander just to see what is available in certain areas, but I've never actually used it yet. In the next couple days, that's probably what I'm going to be using. But also, when I look at the maps of where I'm going, I try to look for like areas that say specifically free parking. Free parking or overnight parking is allowed. So I'm sure you'll see that as today goes on, because that's what I have to do today, is find a spot that's free. Why don't you show your boyfriend on camera? Inquiring minds want to know. I think I mentioned it earlier in one of the other questions, but like, we're two individual people that are together in this partnership, and I've chosen to build this van, to live this van life, you know, and I've chosen to put myself on camera and to show myself to whoever is willing to watch and listen. I've chosen to put my face out there. He hasn't. He isn't necessarily living van life. He just comes with me sometimes and he helps me with the project. But he doesn't want his face on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a respect of privacy. And he's perfectly fine with being my wizard Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're good. He just doesn't want to show his face. So that is all it is. Let's see. How hard is it to renovate a van, and would you recommend it? I mean, would I recommend it? Is it something that you want to do? Do you have the money saved up and more to purchase a van, purchase all the materials, and build it out? Do you think you'll be able to do it by yourself, or do you have a support system? Like, these are all things that you need to think about. I can't say yes or no whether or not I'd recommend it, just because it's ultimately up to you and what your abilities are and what you're willing to do and what you're willing to sacrifice and the money you're willing to spend. Do you have the time for a build? I think those are just things that you need to consider yourself. So if you have the inclination, if you have the itch, if you've been watching videos for years, if you have some money saved up, and if you have the passion to travel and see and feel and experience new things, and you think van life can help you do that, then go for it. Honestly, even if it's not a full-time lifestyle for you, even if you're a weekend van lifer, which I am, as of right now, I live in a home with my boyfriend full-time. I work a full-time job. You know, I'm only in this van on weekends and on, you know, off days, on holiday weekends, on spring breaks, winter breaks. Like, I am a weekender van life. Weekend van lifer. I don't know what you want to call it, but like, I just take the opportunities that I have with time off to go places. So if that's like what your situation is, then sure, you could do it, but it's all up to you. It's all up to you and what your situation is and what you're willing to do. All right, one more, because I gotta get ready and move on. I'm hungry and I gotta pee. Oh, another art question. Okay, so hope this finds you well. How long have you been creating for, and what's one of your favorite mediums? So honestly, I've been creating since as long as I can remember. I loved drawing when I was a kid. I would draw my own characters, animals. I still have this like folder full of drawings that I did when I was a kid. Yeah, and so I ended up going to an arts middle school and high school, both where I majored in visual arts, and I took printmaking, painting, drawing, sculpture, design. I took all sorts of art classes, but ultimately my favorite were, in high school, my favorite were printmaking and drawing and painting. Now, as an adult growing up out of art school, going to college, I have stuck with drawing and painting. My favorite medium is acrylic. I love the way I can use acrylic paint to show all of the colors that I see without having to blend them. And as you guys have seen here on this channel, I've also really been into like marker drawing. I feel like that medium is a very easy medium to work with very quickly, and I get the image that I want out very quickly and sufficiently, and it gives me a different sort of freedom and flow in the moment.
versus acrylic paint, which usually takes me much more time and effort to get across the image that I want to show. So as of right now, acrylic paint and marker, but I'm kind of branching out. I got a new little gouache paint set that I'm excited to use. So yeah. I figured I'd answer some questions since we stopped for gas. So let's see. What does van life mean to you? What does van life do for you? Van life just means that I have greater opportunity to explore out in the world, but also put myself in different environments, different experiences, so that I can learn and grow and adapt and ultimately like come into myself more and more. And granted, I do that on a daily basis, but it's all in waves. And I think van life just gives me the opportunity to purposefully and intentionally put myself in places that allow for that to happen. That's my quick answer. I'm gonna get back on the road. We still have a ways to go, so I'll pick you guys back up, I don't know, maybe when we stop again. So yeah, figured since I'm getting ready for the day, before I get busy making breakfast, I'll answer some questions. All right. Who do you watch on YouTube? I watch a lot of people on YouTube. Let me go to my subscriptions. Let's see. Favorite van life people: Hannah Lee Duggan. Wild We Roam is probably my favorite channel ever. They used to live in a van overseas, a really, really old Mercedes Sprinter van, older than my van. And now they're fixing up a sailboat, which I really love. I'm not interested in living on a boat. I want to be on land, not on water, but I love them and I love their channel, and they have been a big inspiration. Eamon and Beck. I also watch Sailing La Vagabond. Again, another living on a boat family. I don't know why, but they really intrigue me. I'm not interested in boats. I also watch Adventure Time Louie. I watch Earth Mama Medicine. I watch Where is Brittany. Yeah, so those are just most, if not all, of the channels that I watch on YouTube. And then I watch some random stuff here and there whenever I need something different. Next question. Do you enjoy traveling alone? Yeah. For the most part, I do enjoy traveling alone. I think it definitely gives me the time and space away from, you know, regular day-to-day life to kind of decompress, de-stress, to experience something new out in nature that I haven't seen before, that I haven't felt before. I treat them as like mini vacations, so it's something to look forward to. So I really do enjoy traveling in the van alone. This is my first trip, you know, away from home in multiple different locations for multiple days at a time. And last night I was like, I'm lonely and I'm ready to go home. And I feel like I want to be with some familiarity, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. So on one hand, I really do enjoy traveling alone, and this has been a great experience, but this being my first time around traveling for multiple days at a time, I do feel a little bit homesick. What about you? You just want to be with me, huh? Yeah, so I mean, it's cool, but I think I just need to get used to being alone away from home, because I'm not used to that. Have you connected some type of heat source or a cooling
source for the summer. So I don't have a specific heat source. I did go to Lowe's, either Lowe's or Home Depot, and I bought this ceramic personal heater. It is a teeny tiny little thing. And when it's gotten down to like 50 degrees, 45 degrees, it helps a bit. But if it's any colder than that, quite honestly, that doesn't do a damn thing. And I experienced that maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I have the Max Air fan that supposedly can go up to 78 degrees. I haven't tried it yet. I've only used it as a regular cooling fan. So those are the only 2 things that I have at the moment. So far I've been pretty good. There have been a few cold nights that I wished I had prepared a little bit better. And quite honestly, if I had just put on more clothes, I would have been better. But as of right now, those are the only cooling and heating systems that I have. How much did you spend on your van? Where did you find it? And are you a freelance artist, or is it your day job? So 1, how much did I spend on my van? So I found it on Craigslist and I bought it for $4,000. So I will put a little card for you to go back and watch I think my very first video about me buying this van. But essentially, long story short, I had been seeing it on Craigslist for honestly weeks, but it was just priced too high for my budget at the time. And it was this really cute white and pink van. It looked like it had been taken care of really nicely. And it was generally close to where I live, maybe a 3-hour drive to go get it. But it was still too expensive. So I liked it, and it was like a little pinpoint in my brain, but I never paid too much attention to it because I just didn't have the money for it. So weeks go by, I'm still looking, still searching, getting in contact with people, and I'm on Craigslist scrolling, and I refresh, and this van pops up again, but it's like $3,000 to $4,000 cheaper, and it's now in my price range. And I was like, I think this is my van, right? Nobody's bought it up until this point. There could have been many reasons why, but my thinking was like, this is the van for me, the price is right, I'm gonna go see it, and I'm most likely gonna bring it back home. So it was a pretty quick transaction. I will suggest taking somebody that knows things about RVs, knows things about vehicles, to come and check it out with you. It was just me and my sister on a mission to go get it, but she drove home great. You know, no issues on that 3-hour drive, and to this day I haven't had any issues with it. So yeah, great spontaneous purchase, honestly. Are you a freelance artist, or is it your day job? So by freelance, do you mean like, do I just do artwork for people? No, I used to take commissions. I am an artist in general. I have been an artist most of my life, and it is part of my profession. I am a art therapist. I have my master's in art therapy, and I am currently a provisionally registered art therapist. And I'm working on getting my national credentials for art therapy. But I do art on a daily basis. I do art as my own therapy. I do art because I love it. I do art because I need it. I have so many visions and feelings and just things that I need to let out of me, and creating art is how I do it best. So in the past, I've done art for people, and I've been commissioned, so they've paid me to do it. And those have been really cool experiences, but I haven't done that in a while. I don't really feel inclined to do commissions at the moment, but I am currently, trying to figure out how I can offer the artwork that I make in relation to this van life experience to you guys. Because I make these little drawings and I have this paint set and I want to start doing little paintings, and I want to be able to create little like painting postcards or like van life postcards for you guys. So just wait on that. You know, I've been brainstorming and testing things out and continuing to make artwork along the way. So I'm figuring that sometime in the near future I'll have something to offer. But yeah, that's all the questions that I have. Time for breakfast. I'm putting together this Q&A video, editing it, and I've got a handful of questions that I still need to answer, so I'm going to try and do this really quickly and then put it all together so that you guys have my answers to the questions that you've asked. All of the answers that I gave, like for the questions while I was out on the trip, were really fast and in the moment, and you know, whatever popped into my mind first. So I'm gonna try and do the same thing really quickly here. Alright, so I have all the questions. First one, what equipment / software do you use? Okay, so first of all, I have an iPhone 6S that I still use if my camera is dead, or if I'm getting other shots with the camera, then I'll use my phone to take little clips or take pictures, and then I just upload it from my phone. And then I also have this little Nikon Coolpix camera that I'm using right now that is shock-proof, waterproof. I bought it a few years ago to go to Puerto Rico and visit family, and I've just been using it since, so I make do with what I have. Software, I use Adobe Premiere, and that's just because I get it for free through my job. So yeah. Okay, are you planning on adding running water? Yes, I'm planning on running water. Right now all I have is this sink here. Let me show you. All I have is this, ooh, it's a bit dirty, sorry about that, but all I have is this little sink here. I plan on putting a faucet here in the back, and then I'll have a 12-volt water pump that will hopefully do what I need it to do to just, like, you know, flow, give me some water so I'm not pouring things out of bottles every now and then. So yes, I do plan on putting running water in, but that's the only place where I plan on building a little bathroom shower stall, but that's going to be like for bird baths. I'm not gonna have an actual shower system. All right, valuable tools needed throughout the build. Valuable tools, a tape measure, of course, because you need to be able to measure things out, a T-square or like a yardstick to get really good right angles and straight lines. For the majority of the build, I used a skill saw that is secondhand. I got it from a family member, and a jigsaw that was secondhand from a family member. And I have put those things to work. I've gotten everything that I've needed to get done with those tools alone. Granted, they are kind of like rickety and raggedy, and I might need to get a new jigsaw at this point, but for what I have right now in the van, it did the job just well. Very well. Jigsaw, skill saw, tape measure, yardstick, a notebook. Get yourself a notebook so that you can write notes for yourself on your ideas. You can sketch out what you want things to look like. You can take your measurements so that you know what you need to be cutting, making lists of materials that you need, just thoughts that you have about how you can assemble things, or I don't know, a notebook is really helpful. Horses, I think that's what they're called, like the work station horses. They're like bifold, and they fold out into a triangle, and then you can put your wood on top. That was really helpful. I think I got those from Lowe's or Home Depot for maybe like $40, $50, which have been a huge help. Oh, what else? Let me see. Valuable tools needed. Clamps. Clamps are really helpful so that you can put two pieces of wood together, whether you're gluing it or screwing it together. Clamps are really helpful. I think that's all I've got right now. If I think of any while I'm editing, I'll just pop them on the screen. But really just basic tools. And as you start working and learning, oh, a drill! How am I forgetting a drill? A drill and a whole set of drill bits, you know? Necessary, absolutely necessary. And then also I'll add to that a mechanic set. You can get a pretty good mechanic set from Lowe's or Home Depot. If you feel like you're confident enough and you want to do the mechanical work yourself, it's extremely helpful. Sometimes the components that you buy for the van need like it's best to use socket wrenches or, you know, things like that. It's always helpful. It'll help you if your battery dies and you need to get up under the hood. So a small mechanic set is always a good thing to have. Yeah, that's it for now. I'll add anything else. Okay. Would I be less homesick if my boyfriend traveled with me, or do I only want to solo travel? Well, of course, if my boyfriend traveled with me, I think I'd have a much better time because I wouldn't be by myself and I'd have somebody that I love and care for, who loves me and cares for me. And we have fun all the time when we're together, so to be together in the van having fun would be amazing. That would be amazing. So when he has the opportunity, he goes on trips with me. So on one hand, yes, of course, if he was with me, we'd have a great time. I don't think I'd think about home as soon as I would if I was alone. But also, this was kind of an endeavor that I came upon myself and that I wanted to do, whether anybody was going to do it with me or not. So I'm perfectly fine with solo traveling, but, you know, there's a difference between going on a one-night stay here and there to the week-long trip I just did up and around Georgia to, you know, a month at a time, which is probably what I'm going to be doing over the summer. So I think there's some things that I need to get used to when it comes to solo travel, and I need to better prepare myself for solo travel so that I'm comfortable and I feel confident and like I have the mindset of like, yeah, I'm good and I'm safe and I'm happy and I'm cared for and I'm loved even if I'm not home. So both situations are true. I want to share this experience with my boyfriend and my sister, for example, who are actually going on a trip together soon too, and also just go by myself to wherever I want to go. So I think there's just some adapting that needs to happen. And the last question that I have, which I think is a pretty funny one, is do I encounter rodents, spiders, or other creepy things while camping? So far, I have not experienced anything creepy crawly while camping. Not while I was outside, out in the wilderness, you know, by the fire. Not while inside. I haven't experienced anything like that. But, I mean, the one thing that I have realized that I need to be more conscious of, especially traveling with a dog, is ticks. Ticks are disgusting. Like, they creep me out and they make me super paranoid. But I didn't have that until we got back from one of our weekend trips and my dog had one. And we took care of it. He's on the flea and tick prevention medication. But, like, that's the one thing that I'm more conscious of, is just making sure that the dog is clean, taking proper medication, you know, just being careful where we are. And then also mosquitoes. Like, I'm currently living in Florida. I do most of my travel in and around the Florida area. We're in the South. It's hot. It's humid. Like, you probably can't tell, but I'm sweating right now inside this van. So the mosquitoes are terrible, but usually what I do while we're out is, like, we set up camp outside with the cooking stuff, the firewood, whatever. And if I need to come in and out of the van, I just close the door behind me. Yeah, I feel like there might be a situation where I might need to invest in like a mosquito net for the side door here, but other than that, I haven't encountered any creepy crawlies or any sort of like things, any animals, any bugs in the van since I've built it out myself. I will say that when I bought this van and it was completely built out from its original state and I started deconstructing it, there were so many disgusting things living in here. So if you're going to buy a van and you're looking on Craigslist and it's already built out, that can be great, right? But please, please, please do your due diligence and look up and down in all the crevices of the RV or the van that you're looking to buy, because it could look really great on the outside, but then you start lifting things up and there's nests of things, which is what I experienced, and that's why ultimately I decided to just gut it all and start from scratch, because there was too many nasty, creepy, crawly homes in here that I just couldn't deal with. But since then, everything is clean, everything is good, nothing crawling around in here, and haven't experienced anything crawling around outside either. So yeah, that's all I've got. That's the last question, I think. If I missed any, maybe at some point in the future I'll do another one of these. I'll answer oh my god, excuse me. I'll do another one of these Q&A things. You can ask me whatever, and oh my god, I have the hiccups, sorry. I'll do my best to answer. But yeah, so I'm going to end this here. I'm going to go upload this, edit it all together, and let it be a finished product. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for asking me questions. I hope these answers were helpful. I wish you good luck on your van journey, whether you're just now buying one, thinking about buying one, in the middle of a build. You've got this. Stay confident, take breaks, do your research, have fun with it, plan, draw it out, ask people questions, and just do what you gotta do to be happy. So anyways, bye.